Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy King Lucky 1018 back with another video. And today we are going to be doing my review on Thor by Jason Aaron Omnibus Volume 1. Volume 2 comes out later this month, like October 31st, I think. So that's going to be cool. But I just finished reading this. I took a break for a while, but I was like, we might as well do a fun overview on it. And I hope you guys do enjoy this one. Alrighty, let's jump right on into Thor by Jason Aaron. This is the Assad Ribbit cover. This is the standard edition cover. There are two other covers, and I will show you those once I take off the dust jacket. Obviously, written by Jason Aaron, and Russell Dodderman does, I think, the majority of the Mighty Thor, if I'm not wrong, and then Assad Ribbit does all like the regular Thor stuff with Gore the God Butcher and everything. But here is the front. Here is the spine. Pretty cool. And then here is the back. So this does collect Thor God of Thunder 1 through 25. Then we got Thor 2014 1 through 8. And then we have Thor Annual 2015 number 1, Thor's 1 through 4, and Mighty Thor 1 through 12. So this does, there is going to be an Omnibus Volume 2. It comes out in October. And I am super excited about that. So it comes out later this month, actually. But yeah, we are going to take off the dust jacket and look at the interiors. Alrighty, now that the dust jacket is off, here are the interior flaps. Just a little biography about the creators and tells you kind of what's going on. But we have, this is the first DM cover, beautiful piece by, I think it's just Russell Dotterman. I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I'm butchering it. But this is a beautiful piece, Mighty Thor. Same spine, same thing as the one that we had. And then here is the other DM cover. This one's by Joe Crusada, I think that's how you say it. Personally, for this book, it's a really strong book. It's kind of wordy. Jason Aaron can be wordy at times, but it's a phenomenal story, and I love it so much. It's just, there's so much, and we're going to take a look into this. And before I flip through all the pages, I just want to let you know there will be spoilers. So if you do not want to get spoiled on this book, that if you haven't read it, skip ahead. I'll be talking about the binding of the book and pretty much just showing it off. If you want to see like the artwork and stuff, just mute me and you don't have to hear me talk. But yeah, this is the table of contents right here. We have like every single issue that we have going on, all the story arcs. So it goes Thor God of Thunder 1 through 5, then 7 through 11, and then 19 through 23 with Sod Ribic, and then it continues on. So it's pretty cool. I love the table of contents on this. And then we just jump right on in. We got the cover for number 1, the same cover that is on my dust jacket. And we start off, the whole premise of the story is, and pretty much there's 3 different versions of Thor that we're visiting. And this is Thor before he was worthy. So it's kind of him. He's in 893 AD. He's on Earth. But it's him. They're going around because people are dying, you know. And they're trying to figure out what's happening. And then we have modern day Thor, which is present day Thor, and who is worthy, that carries the hammer. We have people praying for their gods to show up, and Thor shows up. It sounds terrific. He has a beautiful style. I mean, it does get, his eyes are kind of funny. Like sometimes you're like, oh, what is it? What is this? You know. But most of the part, it's beautiful. But we just have Thor right now going on a journey. He's trying to figure out, because people have been dying. Gods have been dying, actually. We have 3 gods right here. They all got murdered somehow. We don't know how. Then Thor gets attacked by some type of demon. It's like it's kind of like a venomized demon, or like a dark demon or something like that. But then we get thrown into Future Thor, which is King Thor, All-Father Thor. I'm pretty sure that's what we call him. But it's really cool because Jason Aaron makes it feel like whenever you're reading like past Thor, present day Thor, all Father Thor, it's very, he makes it all split up to where you're like super interested because they all seem so different because of the time. We get the variant covers, which are awesome. And then we just get right into the other cover. But yeah, so this is Unworthy Thor, pretty much, trying to pick up the hammer. And then we just keep switching on to other versions. And then here, let's see. So this is pretty much where we get to meet Gore for the first time. You don't know that it is Gore, but then you figure it out. We're like going through, and then Thor flies up in the sky, Unworthy Thor. And you see Gore has this type of like black blade. It's called the Necro Sword later that we found out because of the King in Black storyline and everything like that. So that's really cool that Gore has it. But that is why Gore's so powerful. Kind of just runs through Thor pretty much. But it's a good fight. It's always a good fight. But we think Thor has the upper hand, and then boom, Gore the God Butcher just takes him down, beats him up. But pretty much, Gore he's a man that him and his family, they were praying because they had no food and no water or anything. They were dying. And no God answered his prayers, so he hates all gods, so his vow is to kill all gods, pretty much. But I love that it's just the whole book is you jumping back and forth between like past Thor, present Thor, and all Father Thor. Because it gives you so much background on everything that's happening. It's kind of cool because all three stories end up connecting into one big story. But as you can see here, Gore, the God Butcher, he's super powerful. He's super cool. They tried to base the story of Thor, Love and Thunder. They brought Gore into it. But, I mean, as many of us recall, the movie was not that great. And it didn't really do justice to how amazing this series is because this series is stupid good. Like, it's so good. Everything with Gore and everything. You have the two gods, and this is how Gore finds them, and this is how he gets his powers. All here, talking about help me, and Gore's like, nah, bro, you guys didn't want to answer my prayer, so I'm going to kill you. But it just shows you all this. And as a big story, just the Gore part of this book, it makes you want to just, like, you fall in love with the story because of how crazy everything gets. And then you have Thor's granddaughters. I forgot what their names are, but they are super sick. At first, they were like, oh, wow, you're hot. To, like, young Thor. Even though they didn't know that that was their grandfather at the, like, old man Thor. And then they're like, oh, wait, that's disgusting. So that was a funny thing. There's a lot of funny stuff. Gore remakes his son and his wife, and then you realize that Gore doesn't really care about that because like that was his whole thing to make his family come back. But then you realize Gore just wants all this power. So he doesn't care. He just goes bananas and he gets rid of his family. But it's just the battle, the artwork, like here's a spread page. Beautiful spread page. But it's absolutely insane. I love this book. This whole story arc, probably one of the better story arcs in this book. I'll say this is probably either my favorite story of this entire book. Beautiful spread page right here. Let me see if I can find the page where this, I remember when I was reading this, I was on a plane, took this book with me, and I read this, and you get to see present day Thor holding two Mjolnirs, and he is the all black Necro Sword too, took Gore's powers. He's like, nah, you're done, bro. And then this beautiful spread page. But I mean, there's just so much that goes on. Then they all get sent back to their times. And then we start Thor, God of Thunder, number 12. And this is kind of just Thor. he's building a team. I think they're called the Legion of Realms or something crazy like that. You have Jane Foster. She has cancer at this point. So that was in Thor: Love and Thunder also. But yeah, it still has the three elements of all three Thors. You get some Malekith action. Let's see if we can find the page. Beautiful, awesome, sick page. Malekith is a big part of this book. Later on in the book, he does work with somebody from Earth that controls Roxxon. But right now, it's just Thor, and he's building up a team for the Legion of the Realms or something like that. Or I forget what their names are, but super cool. I would say this is really where I took my break, is once I got about halfway through the book, I took a big break before I started Mighty Thor, because I just personally, I don't know, like this whole part of the book didn't really, I would say this is my least favorite part of the book. That's the easy way to say it. So I was just very like, like I didn't know what everything else was gonna be, and I took a break for like a long time. So it is kind of crazy to me that I remember a lot of this stuff, but super good stuff here. You get a lot of good stories in here, but then things start to get crazy. Here's another awesome spread page. And then this is where we all kind of get introduced to Thor #1. Thor 2014 #1, If He Be Worthy. So this is where I jumped back. So I got all the way to this and I stopped. For probably about I don't know, this might sound crazy, but for probably like a year. And then I jumped back on in, and the rest of the book, I think it might be my favorite part. I think the gore stuff might be my second. But this part of the entire book is insane. Beautiful artwork too. A lot of crazy stuff. We get to get introduced. You really find out Thor, somebody said something to him. Nick Fury, I'm pretty sure, like the OG Nick Fury, he said something to Thor, and Thor now can't lift Mjolnir, so he's unworthy, and everybody's like, what's going on? And he goes down, tries to fight Malekith. It doesn't really go too well for my boy Thor, you know what I mean? And then, so you get all, like that guy said, it doesn't really go too well for my boy. But then we get to go back to the moon, because that is where Mjolnir is. And the last person that was on the moon was Thor's mother. So everybody, like, we're all reading it and we're like, who is Thor? We're all trying to find out who is Thor. And because somebody picks it up. And then the next page you get this beautiful page of some lady holding Mjolnir, being a badass. Jason Aaron killed it, bro. This book is probably one of my favorite stories I've ever read, and I suggest that everybody picks it up. Mighty Thor is awesome. It takes a long time to figure out who it is. I would say that, like, because it does go on for a while. You're trying to figure out who it is and everything. Right now, the Frost Giants are on Earth. They're trying to go to Roxxon with Malekith. It's before Malekith, and I think his name's like Dario Agger. He is the owner of Roxxon, so he's pretty much just he's honestly like an asshole. I don't like him very much, but him and Malekith are there, and the whole reason is Malekith and the Frost Giants are trying to get Luffy's skull, or Luffy or Luffy, trying to get his head because he is dead right now. But, I mean, I'm sure many of you Marvel fans do know that is Loki's real father. So Loki does make an appearance in here. Thor lost his arm, got the metal arm. And then Thor comes down and he's like, give me my hammer. And then Thor loses his shit, and then now him and Mighty Thor are fighting. But it does take a while for you to get introduced to who Mighty Thor is, and I'm not going to tell you if you haven't read this. I mean, you kind of would already know if you've seen Thor: Love and Thunder. But this book is just so good and so it gets really, really good. Everything with Mighty Thor is just, it made me just keep turning the page. Like, I was like, oh, wow. And then, like, I was like, just, oh, wow. And you get these awesome battles. Like, all these characters. Like, let's see if I can find the page. You get all these characters right here. This page is so sick. You get so many of these characters. Thor, you got Mighty Thor, you got Lady Sif, Spider Woman, Scarlet Witch, you got Captain Marvel, like a Valkyrie. You get all these cool characters because they come and they come help Mighty Thor fight the Destroyer, because the Destroyer is Odin's brother. I forget what his name is because I don't care for him and I don't like him. But Odin's kind of being a bitch right now because he's like, somebody has Mjolnir and Thor Odinson is the only person that's supposed to have it. And Thor's gotten to be okay with it. But Thor has a list. He's trying to figure out who all these people are. This is a cute little story right here. Tales of the Thunder. It's pretty much just old Thor. It's his birthday. Him and his granddaughters go down to Earth. They start making stuff, and they make a whole bunch of animals because Thor's trying to repopulate Earth, trying to make it a good place again so people can live on it. But it's really cool. And Thor makes a Jane and a Steve, pretty much trying to create a whole new universe, whole new like population for Earth, because it was cool because it was shades of when you were, like, from what we hear happened back in the day, like how everybody was created just like that. But a lot of fun little stories in here, different artwork. It's pretty sick. Some of the boys, some of Thor's friends, they're like, Mighty Thor, you have to go do all this stuff because we want you to do it all. And then there's a fun story about Mephisto. He's coming in and he's like, oh, I'm going to get you, Thor, because Thor's been out drinking everybody. And then Loki comes out. And then they try to trick Thor, and the next thing you know, Loki switched it, and then Mephisto, everything just keeps getting crazy. Crazier and crazier and crazier. And then on this last drink, Loki made something, and he did crazy spell to it. And you see Thor's like, okay. And they like both drink it, and then Mephisto swallows it, and then disappears, and Thor spits it out, and he's like, you fool, why would you do that to me? And then it shows Mephisto fighting the Avengers for the first time. But just some fun little stuff. And then you get this miniseries Thor's. It was pretty cool. It's from like Secret Wars. I forgot what, 2014 maybe, or 2015, 20. I don't know, somewhere in that category. But it's with like all the Ultimates and all these like universes collided into one. It's pretty cool. It's pretty much just like a murder mystery. I'm trying to figure out. You got Beta Ray Bill as a main part of this, and Ultimate Thor. But it's very cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It's literally a murder mystery. You have Loki in here. Beta Ray dies. You're like, what? Oh, dude, it was such a crazy plot twist. Like, that's the end of issue #1. Like, Beta Ray is he seemed like such a big part. But then you figure out who actually is doing it, and it's Ruin King Thor that's murdering all these Jane Fosters and Thors, and everything about this whole story. Like, it was pretty good. I was kind of mad because I was like, damn, bro, I want more Mighty Thor, bro. Like, because in the first Mighty Thor series, you actually didn't get to find out. I don't think you didn't get to figure out who. Oh, wait. Yeah. So in this series, you get to find out that Jane Foster is the Mighty Thor. It's pretty badass. A lot of crazy shit goes down. It's setting up the War of the Realms story arc. You have Loki doing something crazy. You have some sick fights. Like, Jane Foster Thor's been becoming, since I read this, one of my favorite characters in Marvel, I would say. Beautiful spread page right here. But, I mean, there's just so much that goes on. Like, this whole story arc is awesome. I'm so excited for Volume 2. I'll probably jump into it probably as soon as I get it. Maybe we'll see. But there's just a lot of cool stuff that goes on. You have this cool story that Loki tells about this corrupted Viking. He wants more power because he always prayed to Thor so everybody would come down. Or so Thor would always come down to help them fight in battle. And then one day he didn't pray because everybody's like, you always pray on Thor. and then they lost, and then Thor was fighting with the other people because they prayed that day for him. So it's pretty cool. But it's a cool story arc. This guy gets super powerful. Loki makes a deal with him, and it's sick. But you just have so much. These agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. think that Jane Foster's Thor, and then they're interrogating her, and you're just like, dude, it's insane. You got these cool ass pages. Like, if you haven't read this, read it, honestly. Like, if you're a fan of Thor, some cool like, not even cosmic, but like, just everything, like Earth realm stuff. If you like all the realms, like, if you just like Thor in general and you love an awesome story, Jason Aaron always usually produces some amazing stuff. So, I mean, I would for sure check it out, if anything. But then we get to figure out how Jane Foster finally tells somebody. I forgot what her name is. I can't forget. I don't know her name. I forgot. But then we get this cool story on how Mjolnir was made. Really badass. You get to see why he hates Mjolnir. Odin does. So that's cool. And then this is the very last page. Is Mjolnir takes her flying away, and then you get to see this. The librarian goes, and a war, and war, so much war. Then you see a book that said the War of the Realms, and it says to be continued. And that is Thor by Jason Aaron. Here's a lot of bonus materials. It's just like, what is it, like messages stuff. I'm pretty sure Jason Aaron talking about it. You get the dust jacket cover. Just a lot of cool stuff, though. You get Asaj Ribik's, his sketchbook. But yeah, if you guys are interested, I would for sure check out probably Organic Price Books or go to your local LCS. They always have some good stuff too. But if you want to get this, I would for sure probably check out OPB. They do good deals, and they probably have this in stock. I don't know if many LCSs still have this in stock. But yeah, you have some sick covers here about Thor. But let's check out the binding now, and then alrighty. So here is the binding of the book. Not that big of an eye. I have the first print. They did a reprint for it that had a much bigger eye, but as you can see, it's not that big of an eye. The book does retail for, let's see if we can get it to work. It retails for $125 US and $156 Canadian. The book does have 1,216 pages. But that is Thor by Jason Aaron, Omnibus Volume 1. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. I really hope you guys did enjoy this one. I had fun making it, and I'm super excited to see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you guys want more content like this. I love doing a whole bunch of comic book stuff in general, and omnibus stuff. It's always been one of my favorite things, and it's something I'm super passionate about. So let me know down below if you want to see that. But I hope everybody has a good day, night, evening, wherever you're at in the world and whatever time you're watching this at. And one last thing, just like always, peace and love.